So we're back here again. I got all my wires sorted out here on the CDI. As you can see, they were a mess also when I bought the buggy. So I've got all those worked out now. They kind of came out of the holster I put them in. And like I said, these components aren't exactly American made, but they will work as long as you take care of them. There we go. So I'm going to take all these out here again. And we're going to go ahead and put these, like we do everything else, through the middle. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put these back together. And everything here will be the way it should be. I'm going to go look for a tie down here when I get done here with hooking everything up. Alrighty. Okay, so we have this red wire here, this mangled mess here. Does go to this wire here. We're going to see if we can use our donor harness to make a couple of connections so that when you have to take it apart, you're not tearing it apart. So let me take a look here and see what I got here. So we got one right here. Do we have another one? Well, I don't really see another end I can use on my donor. Let's see here. I don't see any connections I can like even steal from to. These are all male connections except for a couple of them that wouldn't be something I can use. So here looks like it's just in line anyway. It doesn't even have a disconnect on it. So it looks like something you have to cut if you're ever going to use it. Take anything apart from it. So go ahead and take this guy here. Cut this guy here. I am not an avid believer in these connections. They're garbage. They're not meant to put on a buggy like this because it's outside. Everything is exposed. The last thing you want are things that are exposed. You want everything sealed, soldered, in order to get your buggy to continue to run properly through extended times of out running in the dirt, the sand, the mud, everything that you're going to subject this little buggy to. The wiring harness has to be taken care of. It is one of the most important parts of the buggy. I mean, without the electrical components, this thing will never run right. It will always give you problems. But if you do things properly with the electrical system, you will have a great running buggy. Minor things like carburetors that can be replaced easily. All that stuff can be done easily. This is the stuff that nobody likes to do, and they don't like to admit that it's one of the most important parts of the buggy running. Okay. Slide this over. I'm gonna torch it. And that is it. Another part done. Now you want this fuse to remain in, and these are a 15 amp. I thought, but I work on tractors too, lawn tractors. So the tractors have a 15 amp in them. Okay, so we got all this situated so far. We've got this guy here. Dirty. Where's my cleaner at? Let's see if we can't spray a little bit of cleaner in there. Clean up them connections. These poor harnesses, man, they take a beating. Literally take a beating. Those two wires are what goes to the speedo. So, speedo wires. We'll work on this one later. Not a big part of my concern at this moment. Okay. Okay, so all right, let me clean these connections up here. Let me just see if maybe I can get something off the donor here that will work on this one. These are very, very different harnesses though. And I want to keep everything standard, so if the next person wants to buy anything for this, they can. And just plug it in. So we don't have anything there. Let me look and see if I have anything else in my box. So we have the female, these are male. Okay, so that's not gonna work either. So we'll see if we can't make these just work temporarily for this guy. So I'm not gonna really worry about it. All I did is clean up the ends on the inside so it's got good connections. It's getting replaced on Monday, but I want to be able to start this thing up today. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in for temporary purposes. And I've replaced the CDI unit. I'm going to replace the coil. I'm going to replace, I've already replaced the starter solenoid. So, tens. If it keeps cutting out, then most likely it's going to be in that rectifier, I believe. Or it could have been a bad spark plug, and I did replace that too. Okay, so gotta take this guy off for a minute because there's a certain way you have to put these rectifiers on, or you won't get one bolt tight. So you got to turn it underneath it and get your. I need a wrench on this one. Your wrench underneath it. Your 8mm. Okay, so we turn it. And we tighten down this one first, pretty snug. These are locking nuts. So if you snug it down pretty tight, not so tight where you can't turn it, just not tight enough to where it's holding in there, where it doesn't jiggle around, then you can go ahead and turn it and position the other one. And that's about all I'm going to do on that. And then I'm going to turn this to line it up. Put that one right there. And go ahead and do the same thing on this side. Like I said, this is only going to be in here temporarily, but I do want it secured and grounded to the buggy. These rectifiers, if you notice, they have fins on them. And the reason they do is because they're electronic and they get hot. Components in them can go bad and cause your buggy to do things that you don't want it to do. And the only thing you can do sometimes is replace them. Replace the components, and your buggy will go back to behaving the way it should. Okay. So now, and on these guys right here, we have this component here. And I put everything through the middle. Even if it doesn't go in the box, I still put it in the middle. Because you want everything out of the way. You want everything to run in one place. This is your guy down here. Okay, and then you have your other guy. Here, right here. So you got this guy here. There. Some of these harnesses are just hideous. Okay. blue one here. Connects up to this guy here. And after a while, it starts getting a little more difficult to get your wires all through there. Okay, you got a blue and white one connecting up to another blue and white one. Okay. All right. So get your coils. These go through here. Over to your coils. I know your coils. This is your coil here. This one's the one that goes over to the coil. Okay, now we're still trying to figure out where a couple of these things go. These go to return signals, I'm pretty sure. And your tail light. You got a tail light, you got some signals. So this tail light here. It's got 3, and then your signals. Okay, so you got your signals and your tail light. This is where those go. Alright. So you got your coil. Now we're just trying to here goes up to your tail lights. Goes through there. Okay. So those go. Your speedometer, which I'm not going to worry about at the moment. Or still trying to find where these guys go. So this goes probably to the tail light. Okay. Okay, and we got the choke, and that's probably where these two go. Okay, and on this one right here, I'm going to go ahead and put a zip tie to hold that sucker together because we do not want those coming apart. That will stall the motor. And I am going to go to the other side and put a new I'm going to go to the other side and put a new, I wonder if I could find me a donor off of this thing. Well, that's going bye-bye anyway, come next week. Monday or Tuesday, that one's going. This rectifier is